Like most women, I want to grow my butt, shrink my waist, but I don't want a BBL. Do beauty programs really work as well as advertised, or are they fake results? So there are many questions you've got to ask when you look at photographs of people doing beauty programs, right? How are they posed? If it's a standard in the mirror, body twisted, leg back and behind, reaching over, arching their back to take a picture to sell a beauty program, I would question it, because glutes don't look like that all the time. Focusing on growing your glutes is a really great way, but will it look like a BBL? No. A BBL is anatomically incorrect, right? So I'm going to answer the next two questions. How toxic is the BBL movement? I'm going to answer both of them in this big blurb, right? BBLs are anatomically incorrect for the human body. The human body is created at absolute perfection, right? The glutes are the engine of the body. That is our powerhouse, our glutes. Look at sprinters. Look how big and dominating their glutes are, because that is the power that comes from them. It is the largest muscle group on the body, your glutes. They are huge, right? If you tone and you train those muscle groups, they will become excited and they will give you a little bum, right? But the smoothing out that you get with a BBL, that you look like an incredible, is literally anatomically incorrect based on how the muscle attachment occurs. So the muscle attachment happens through the hips and through the pelvic floor, and that hip dip is basically the separation between the quad and the glute, which is necessary for articulation of the joint. You are now putting fat in a space where a joint is meant to articulate. So now as women, we suffer more from osteoporosis and osteoarthritis in older age. So this is breakdown of bone bone as we get older, as its muscles start to grind because we haven't built up enough bone density. Now that you've blocked or you've basically altered the articulation of that joint, what do you think is going to happen to that ball and socket into that hip? That degradation is going to be far worse because you're now putting more strain on that joint that wasn't necessary. Temporarily, they may look great to some people, but long term, the damage that it will cause going forward is a problem. The issue with the BBL, people getting BBLs and not disclosing it, is that they are then selling booty plans after they've got a BBL, right? Glutes have a very particular look. You have your glute, you have a hamstring growth, and you have quad growth. The whole leg is integral. And having nice glutes, doesn't necessarily mean you have thick hamstrings, but you will grow hamstrings with it. Beauty programs do work, but it's the person that is programming it for you. And there's loads of things you need to do. If you want a small waist, you grow a bigger back. It's all about angles and illusions. It's about creating a shape and an illusion of having a smaller waist because you built a bigger back that then makes your glutes look bigger and huge. It's all about shape creating. It's almost like, for me, weightlifting is like, imagine an artist with like clay, and I use a dumbbell and a barbell and all the machines in the gym to sculpt you in a way. It's not going to take me 6 to 8 weeks to do that. It takes years. Like, I was born with a long back. I now have glutes, and this is 10 years later. I now have glutes. And that's taking me a decade to do, but people want these things far too quickly. They get impatient and then pay for a BBL. The BBL looks great temporarily, but then you need to think that we are going to get older. Like I said before, osteoporosis and osteoarthritis is higher in women because as we go through the menopause, it literally strips out our calcium from our bones and makes us brittle. And you're now going to add fat into that space. You just got to really think about it. So that is how toxic BBLs are. And do beauty programs work? Yes, they do with time, but be careful who you're purchasing it from, ensuring that they haven't had a BBL done to sell you that plan. So I've answered those two questions. Anything to add, Donna?